What is up, guys, and welcome to another edition of Market Marauders, beating the market one trade at a time. If you're the Market Marauders investment channel, helps you to find the best deals in the market. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe. It definitely helps the YouTube algorithm promote the videos. All right, so we're going into my top penny stocks that I think everybody should be watching. Bear in mind, this is for educational purposes, so let's jump into it. So the first one I have is ticker sign ELYS. It's for Ellis Games Technology Company. At the time of the video, they are at $2.07. So pretty good metric for them. Going into some background information on them, they are a sports betting company. So they do the technology behind sports betting. I think it's a company that everybody should look into, just for the fact that sports betting has continued to grow. If you look at a company like DraftKings, they have grown tremendously based on sports betting. And I think it's something that's going to continue to be here. You also have MGM betting that just recently came out. So I think online betting in general is going to continue to grow. This company has the technology behind that. So they just made a pretty big executive change. They got a new CEO. So that's always a big change for a company as a whole. Going into some of the things they do on here, you see virtual betting, risk management services, sports betting, which is a big one, as well as iGaming platforms. So definitely one I think everybody should keep their eyes on, moving forward, and I'm definitely going to be adding them to my watch list. So next one we got here is ticker sign RAIL. Now, the market is open, so you'll see this one fluctuate. It is going up at the time of this video, and it is ticker sign RAIL for Freight Car Americas. So they are at the time of this video at $3.13, and climbing seems to be, but it's fluctuating quite a bit. So depending on when you watch this, the price will be different. But background information on them, this is kind of some of the stuff that they do. They make rail cars. Freight Car America Incorporated, and that's receipts of stockholder approval for issuance of warrant and funding of new term loan. Then they reported their third quarter 2020 results. So let's jump into that, because I think financials are really important for all companies. Now, they did have a loss, net loss of $40.3 million, which is quite a bit, but if you see where this company, what this company does, to me, I think that was attributed to a lot of back losses. Now, we do know the pandemic has, hurt quite a bit of companies over, the time period, and a lot of companies are adjusting to new ways of work, especially, if you're buying different products from different companies, you're not sole source, it may stop the supply chain and things of that nature. So they did end up selling 163 rail cars, which is $25.5 million. So they were able to get a little bit of revenue, but they still had that loss, which to me I think is reasonable, considering the things that they go through with the pandemic. Now, one of the things that I'm excited to see on here, that I think was very interesting, is that they have a backlog of since September 30th, 2020, of 1,776 rail cars. So almost quadruple the amount of deliveries they made. They have back orders. So this is including 100 rail cars ordered during the quarter, with approximately $195 million. So they are not, struggling as far as getting orders is concerned. It seems to be that the company is just trying to get all these orders out. So seeing a backlog of an amount that this is this large, especially considering they only were able to get out 163, I think just shows that they'll be profitable for quite a while, and that people trust the company to have back orders that are this large. Now I think once this whole pandemic situation is kind of under wraps a little more, and they're able to continue business as usual and increase their production, I think this value will definitely decrease, and we'll see more and more revenue. So definitely one of the key marks that I have this on my watch list, and I think everyone should look at. So next we have ticker sign WORX, and that is for Works. They're at $2.12 at the time of this video. May be different because the market is open. seems to be going down just a little bit, but VWAP is still kind of high on this one and slowly declining. So depending on when you watch this video, it may be different. But at the time of this video, this is where it currently is at. So going back our information on them, we can see that they are big into doing testing. So they plan to distribute rapid testing for the pandemic. They have units set up. Testing is something I think will continue to be one of the main focuses, even though we're going to have a vaccine out there pretty soon. By I think in a couple of weeks, in my opinion, we'll have approval for those. But until then, we're still going to need testing, and even after then, we're going to need testing. I think testing is going to be sort of a standard kind of first wave thing before doing the vaccine. So I think testing is going to continue to be a main focus for a lot of companies and just the world in general out there. And any company that's in that niche of testing or supplies testing or helps with testing, I think will continue to be profitable as time goes on. So that's why I have this company on my radar. So next, we have ticker sign ORMP, and that is for Ormed Pharmaceuticals. So they are at $4.50 at the time of this video. They have gone all the way up to $5.15. So pretty good metric for them that they hit that number. Volume doesn't seem to be that high. It's kind of low on this one. So that's why you don't see much movement compared to the other ones that are just constantly moving. Their volume is a lot higher. Going into some background information on them, they have initiated, so this came out on the 24th, so it's pretty recent, initiated phase 3 trial of oral insulin. So I think that this is a pretty huge thing that they're trying to do, by having oral insulin. I know a lot of people out there who may know people, or I personally do know people who have diabetes. And, if you have an oral option to do it instead of injecting yourself or taking a shot, I think if this is approved by the FDA or, continues to have successful trials, because they already did phase 1 and 2, and now they're initiating 3, which to me shows promise of something that they're doing is working. And if that's becoming an option to have oral insulin, I think you could see that take off tremendously, because diabetes is something that a lot of people suffer with, and it's not going away anytime soon. So I think having an oral option opposed to doing injections for insulin, I think would be fantastic. And I'm interested to see if this company can make more developments on this actual drug. So definitely I have a highlight on this one because I understand what they're making, and I know the people who could be affected by this. So, try to go with things that when trading stocks. Try to, I guess, stay in niches that you can understand. If you can read press releases and understand sort of what the company is doing, then I would say, okay, yeah, that is potential to trade. But the more due diligence you do, the better off you're going to be in the long run in general. So lastly, we got ticker sign JG. That is for Aurora Mobile. The time of the video, they're at $3.96. They have touched $5.12, but it seems like VWAP is kind of high, but volume-wise, not too much trading going on with this one. So going into press release from them, it says Aurora Mobile signs 5G strategic cooperation framework agreement and 5G messaging connection test agreement with Beijing Unicom. Aurora Mobile Limited announces third quarter 2020 unaudited financial results. So I'll go into that one after I read these. Aurora Mobile partners with 17ZUOYE to power users' operations with AI technologies. And then some other stuff that's going on here. Now, for 5G, 5G operations, I think, China, or this is, I think, a Chinese-based company, is way ahead of the U.S. in my personal opinion. So, them having a lot of things, I've seen lots of documentaries on where technology is in China, and it's way further advanced than, companies in the U.S. So a lot of things in China, they use like mobile devices to pay for things. So like, they'll check out with their mobile devices way ahead of like, people using Apple Pay and, stuff like that here. They were doing that, way before the U.S. did. So I think a company like this is, a lot more powerful being in China than being in the U.S., which I think that's why I have them on my watch list. Going into their earnings, we can see their revenue increased 18% year over year. Gross profit increased 16%. Gross margin was 75% compared to 76%. And of course, they had some losses. They had a decrease of 46% year over year, and a decrease cost revenue of 60%. Gross profit decreased by 10% year over year. So they have struggled a little bit, during this whole market. But China's economy, in my opinion, was affected in different ways than the U.S. economy was. So it's not directly a one-to-one, considering the pandemic and stuff that's going on. I don't live in China, so I don't know, how they handled the whole pandemic situation. But I do know that mobile devices and mobile device companies in China have always been a pretty big niche, almost, similar to the way EV is growing. Their mobile device division overall in China is a lot higher demand and a lot more popular than in the U.S. So that's why I have them on my watch list. I think they have potential to continue growing. This is the list. So we got ticker sign ELYS, RAIL, WORX, ORMP, and JG. So good luck to everybody out there trading. I hope you're able to lock in some profits this week, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.